Were any documents that former President Trump took with him to any of his properties, did any of them contain sensitive military plans?
Yeah, well, I'm not trying my case in the press. So he would have the right to possess them if they did, but I'm not going to address that.
Following reports that Donald Trump was recorded allegedly admitting to having classified documents with information about Iran's military activities, Trump's lawyer decided that he would go on national television and bob and weave during an appearance on CNN, doing his best to avoid answering tough questions, which makes no sense to me. Why would you agree to an interview if you're not going to answer questions?
I know.
And by the way, you're going on CNN, how tough can they possibly be, right? Now, before we get back to Jim Trusty's cagey answers, and that's the name of the lawyer here, here's what CNN had reported yesterday. We covered it when it broke, but we'll give you a refresher. Federal prosecutors have obtained an audio recording of a summer 2021 meeting in which former President Donald Trump acknowledges he held onto a classified Pentagon document about a potential attack on Iran. On the recording, Trump's comments suggest he would like to share the information, but he's aware of limitations on his ability post-presidency to declassify records, two of the sources said. Now, this is an important development because remember, Trump is facing an investigation in regard to his possession of classified and top secret documents. Documents that he had no business taking home with him from the White House. After that story broke, after the FBI raided his home in order to take back the documents that he should not have been in possession of, Trump claimed that he had declassified those documents himself. All he had to do was think about it and poof, they're declassified. He made it seem like he had done nothing wrong. Any accusation that those documents inadvertently were packed with some of Trump's other belongings and he accidentally took it home with him to Mar-a-Lago, obviously this dispels that notion. And so again, pretty groundbreaking. The attorney representing him, though, did a poor job in defending him in the context of the CNN interview. We're going to show you some other clips proving that. Before we do, though, Cenk, you're chomping at the bit.
Yeah, so this shows two huge things. One, he showed it to others. That's a giant problem. Giant problem. It's one thing to take home top secret documents that the president has already seen. It's another thing to show it to randos to impress them or whatever reason he showed it to them. Second of all, to Anna's point, he has said in the past that you can declassify things just by holding them or thinking about them or looking at them. Those are three different excuses that he's used, okay? And that's what I call the laser eyeing of the documents. I looked at, that's it, they're declassified. But in this tape, if it's true, and by the way, the CNN didn't listen to the tape, the leakers are saying that the tape exists, they explain what's in the tape, and presumably they're gonna play it in court one day, presumably, okay? So I believe that they're not going to leak that information that's false. If they don't charge him though, then I'm gonna discount all of this, okay? But assuming that it's true for a second, they say that in there, he says that they're not declassified. So he knows they're not declassified. He has intent and he shows it to others.
God, he's such a clown.
He's clown 101. He incriminates himself at every single turn. If there was any justice in the world, if there was like an equal justice system in this country, he would definitely be going to jail. Okay, now there's this twist in that story which I'll save for later on foreign policy. But why is he sending his lawyer out there to say these ridiculous things? Because that's what Trump does. Go defend me, okay? Go make a great case, but your case sucks. What am I supposed to do with it? Go do it, make me look great, okay? And that's what leads to this debacle.
So again, his attorney's name is Jim Trusty. And you can judge for yourselves whether or not Trusty is trustworthy based on how he bobs and weaves in this part of the conversation. So it's about how the documents were allegedly declassified, something that the lawyer is gonna claim, but just get a load of how he responds to the line of questioning from Abby Phillip.
When it comes to your client, you will not say what he has said, which is that he blanket declassified all of those documents. Did he do that?
Yes.
Well then, can you then say, if he blanket declassified those documents, you should be able to very easily say, this document that he's referring to on this tape was declassified. Can you say that?
I am not trying my case based on leaks that you want to celebrate.
But, okay,
all you're trying to do,
you see the logic of what I'm trying to get at.
I see the reality of what you're doing.
If you're saying they're all declassified, but you don't want to say, whether this document was declassified.
Can I finish my thought instead of you celebrating your moment?
Here's the issue. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of it.
Look, I got to be honest. At this point, if you know that Trump himself, or more importantly, Trump's associates, Trump's lawyers, Trump's affiliates, whatever, are gonna do this, and you're not going to get your questions answered, you're just gonna have this guy steamroll you and refuse to answer your question. Like, what's the point of the interview in the first place?
Well, what's the point from both sides? So he says, look, I'm not gonna try this case in the press. Then why are you in the press?
Well, exactly. That's what I would have asked right there.
Like this, if I was her, I would have said, this is the press.
You agreed to this interview.
And you came on here. You said you wanted to come on here, right? So you are trying it in the press. You just don't want to answer the uncomfortable questions because it seems like your case is super weak. To that point, and this is devastating, guys. They're saying all this stuff in the press where you could lie ad nauseum, right? Oh, laser eyes and it touch it and it becomes declassified. All this nonsense, right? In the courts, though, none of his lawyers have ever said that the documents were declassified. Because if they lie in the court papers, knowing that they're lying, they can get disbarred. So, and a bunch of the lawyers have already quit this case because Trump always makes his underlings lie. And if you're a lawyer, it's either gonna be the end of your career, right? Because you don't have the same special privileges that he has, right? You could get disbarred. So that's why they go on TV to say, oh yeah, totally, yeah, it could be declassified. In court, they're like, no, we didn't say that. We didn't say that. Because they know for a fact that they were not declassified. He was sharing top secret information, which is deeply illegal.
So I want to go to the moment that you had referenced, Cenk, where Trusty makes this point about how he doesn't want to try the case on national television. I want you to see him make that statement in context.
I'm not trying the case in the media. I'm not going to sit here and address the document as if it's right or if that audio tape exists or as if it's not something that's really wrong. When DOJ and FBI are on a leak campaign where they're selectively taking half-truths and mistruths, complete falsehoods, and putting them out there to Caitlin Collins and you guys to dangle out here on TV, I'm not going to respond to that. I'm not going to justify their behavior by acting as if it's actual fact. I'm telling you, we're not going to respond to leaks. They want to try this case in the media. They want to justify the singular treatment of President Trump compared to any other president in history. I'm not trying my case in the press. So I am not trying my case based on leaks that you want to celebrate. I know I'm getting boring for your ratings, but I am not going to try the case that's being set up by leaks that I don't believe are accurate.
Has the document been returned to the National Archives?
Same answer.
So at what point does CNN decide that since this guy doesn't want to answer your questions, maybe it doesn't make sense to have him on, right? So there's that. But also, it's clear what the defense or talking point is, at least in the court of public opinion. It's to accuse the DOJ of doing politically motivated leaks. So as soon as you get asked a tough question that's impossible to answer, immediately pivot to these are politically motivated DOJ leaks. Politically motivated, but your client is on tape admitting that he is in possession of classified documents that have not been declassified. Okay, so how are you going to answer that question, not just in a court of public opinion, but in a court of law?
Yeah, look, so there is one ironic agreement I have with Trusty, and so it leads to why he's on there in the first place. So, but first to Anna's point about CNN and what I said earlier too. Look, if I'm the host there, I couldn't help myself. I would have to ask, why are you here? If you say you're not going to try it in the press and in the media, this is the media. Tell me, like literally, it's the most important question. Why are you here? What point are you trying to make if you don't want to answer any of the questions? And so the reason CNN won't do that is because they're deathly afraid of losing access, beloved access, right? So now there is a reason why he's there, because he just wants to talk about the fact that they leaked it. Because he's not wrong that it's unusual for the Justice Department to do a leak like this. Like if you're doing a random case against some Joe Blow in the bureaucracy who took home top secret documents on how we were planning to invade Iran, you wouldn't bother leaking it to the press at all. You'd save all of your evidence and then reveal it at the last moment during the trial. You don't want the defense to prepare. You don't want to get in trouble. So are there coordinated leaks against Trump in this case? Yes, there are, okay? So Trump is sending him out there and saying, distract people from the actual content of the case and instead focus on the misbehavior of the Justice Department. And that's why he doesn't answer anything about the case, because it's a disaster for them on the case, right? So he's trying to distract you. Now, they happen to be right, in my opinion, about the distraction, but that doesn't change anything about the case. And so I don't want you to get lost in that. Now, there is one thing there that I mentioned to you guys I want to talk about, which is policy. I don't know who's right. Trump does not have a very good track record for being honest, but he claims in the tapes, apparently, that Milley wanted to, and the generals wanted to start a war with Iran and egged him on to attack Iran many times, and that he refused to do that. Now, Milley says at the end of the Trump administration, this is more clear, we know he did this. He went around and told everybody, do not listen to Trump if he gives an illegal order to attack a different country, okay, including Iran. So I don't know who's right about who wanted to start the war with Iran. But if Trump is right, and remember, he doesn't necessarily know that he's being recorded when he was.
No.
No, he knows that there's the biographers, right?
He actually would have aides record his conversations. That was reported yesterday. So that's why why that tape was recorded.
So maybe he does know in that case. But so thank you for clarifying that. So if Trump didn't want to attack Iran and the generals did, well, then I would give him credit for that. It doesn't matter how much I hate him. It doesn't matter how guilty he is on this. You have to be fair and honest about each individual fact, okay? So we don't know who wanted the war with Iran, but whoever wanted the war with Iran is a disaster. And if it's the generals, they're still in there and they're still egging Biden on to do the disastrous thing that, as it turns out, Trump didn't do.
Now, I do want to go to one final video, and it's from Trump's former lawyer, a guy by the name of Ty Cobb. He sees things a little differently. Following CNN's report, he said that this actually looks really, really bad for Trump. But look, I also want to just pause for a second and say, how many Trump-related investigations included former Trump administration officials, former Trump lawyers coming out to say, like, no, this is really bad. He might go to prison for this. And then, of course, that never comes to fruition. So I want to make sure that we temper our expectations here.
In fact, I want to add something to that after we watch the clip.
So let's watch what he had to say.
It further enhances the obstruction case because it eviscerates the two defenses that Trump has put forward. The first being that merely by taking documents, he declassifies them, or that he has the authority, if he's playing with the ducks in the hot tub, to declassify them in his own mind. Those are out the door now because he's admitted that he understood there were restraints on what he could do with documents. So I think that this makes the obstruction case more compelling. It could add the two cases. The obstruction and the possession and use of the classified information together, but that would delay things. And I think I don't see any eagerness on the part of Jack Smith and his team to slow down. I think they have their foot on his neck.
So again, that was former Trump attorney Ty Cobb, who moonlights as Santa Claus once a year. Go ahead.
And Raleigh fingers for the old school baseball fans. So now, look, I've never seen former lawyers go out and speak against their clients, let alone like nearly dozens of them. And that's because Trump drives the lawyers crazy because he says, I demand that you lie for me, and I demand that you endanger your career for me. Otherwise, I'm going to say you're the worst, and I'm going to say you betrayed me, and I'm going to get everybody to hate you. So everybody who works for Trump, not just the lawyers, former administration officials, they all despise him because he's such a terrible human being, right? That's why you're seeing guys like Ty Cobb on there. But I don't know which way this is going to break on the leaks issue. Okay, why are they leaking? One could be we're not really going to charge him. So we're just trying to do political damage by telling you what we have, but are never going to use.
There's no way they're going to charge.
Okay. So that's option number one, which would be devastating. So the leaks might not be a good thing at all. Option number 2 is we are gonna charge him, but we don't want everybody to flip out. So we're telling you how good a case we have before we charge him, so it mitigates the reaction. Which is, if they're thinking that way, it won't work at all, because MAGA's gonna flip out no matter what.
They're gonna flip out no matter what, 100%.
And then the final thing is, he said there, he's playing with the docks in the bathtub. And I was like, oh, I get it now. He took them home because he thought they were rubber dockies.
I can't even do a pity laugh. I can't even do a pity laugh.
I love those bad jokes. I love them. Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.